Hey gang, Uncle Todd here again, and looking at the third episode of Criminal Minds Evolution, and things are getting starting to pick up. The head unsub of the cult, as it were, is in a very stressful situation. His family's in need of money. His daughter got accepted into a very expensive private school. His job has just let him go. He was a traveling salesperson. You know, the thing you need to be when you're a serial killer. Something to do traveling without getting a lot of suspicious. And his neighbor is really starting to push his buttons. You know, he's one of those macho guys. Meanwhile, the BAU has found all but 3 or 4 of the kits that were scattered around. And with a little help from JJ, Garcia figures out what those kits could have. Basically, by going through what the other kits have, they can extrapolate what was missing, since they've determined that since he buried these kits years ago, he is looking for specific types to get that kit. And looking at the types that would have used the kit that they've been able to recover, they can extrapolate what would be in other kits, going by different kinds of serial killers. Meanwhile, the leader gets a phone call from one of his disciples, and they want to go right now. And he's like, "You can't go right now. I got someone else who has to go. I need to see something about this, and you know, if you send me more money, I can bump you up to next in line." Well, he's not too happy about that, but he sends him the money. Also, we don't know if the store clerk from the previous episode was killed or not. We assumed he killed her and her dog, but it turns out he grabbed her dog. So I don't know if she's dead or not. But he grabbed her dog, and he is basically reprogramming it to be a vicious killer. Meanwhile, they've run down, or the BAU has run down the latest unsub, who is an ex-military man, and he's going to have a bomb with him. Now, they take this to the deputy chief, and he wants to hand it over to the DEA. You know, the Domestic Terrorism Agency, that group. And there's an argument, you know, we've done all the work, da-da-da-da-da. So he allows JJ and Alvarez to be observers. Now, the leader shows up in Washington, D.C. to watch. And the Domestic Terrorist Organization, they are just going to snipe the guy, the bomber. And it doesn't matter that they would need him alive so that they can work some more evidence into the case, you know, and maybe find the leader. So Alvarez and JJ, they run into the park that the guy has entered, and the guy's pretty smart. Snipers can't see him there because, you know, he's ex-military. He knows all this stuff. Anyway, Alvarez and JJ manage to subdue him. Bomb does not go off. The leader sees this and walks away. The deputy director takes full credit for the capture, cuts the BAU out of the thing entirely. It was all domestic terrorism and him. Then, because they disobeyed him, he demotes Rossi, which isn't that big a deal because Rossi didn't want to be the leader anyways. So, Prentice is ordered to find a replacement. She takes it herself, noting that she has final say on, manpower there, and she'll take it herself. And the deputy director just gives her that usual warning that, this is all going to be on your shoulders. You're going to do 2 jobs at once, and if you slip, I can't protect you. Like he was to begin with. Anyway, while questioning the prisoner, they begin to realize he's not fitting the profile. The bomb had no explosives in it. Well, what's going on? And that's when Lewis realizes he wasn't a follower. He was an infiltrator. This leader, or they think, may have killed his sister 15 years ago. And he spent the last 10 years, or 5 years, I'm sorry. He spent 10 looking for her. He spent the last 5 years infiltrating the message boards and working his way up to find the leader. And his whole plan was to get a picture of the leader. Also, he was the one who was supplying Garcia with all her information, so they've also lost their inside man. And as for the leader, in order to get some stress relief, he has very specific rules to follow. And the people in the first 2 episodes have been not following them. And that's why they're getting caught. And one of the most important rules, don't take anyone close to you. This person has to have no ties. So he kidnaps a random person who somewhat, but not totally, resembles his neighbor because he can't kill his neighbor. That could lead to him. And it's also a good test for Moose. And Moose, at the end of this episode, rips this guy to shreds. Whew. Gut punch of an ending there. That was just... Even though there's not a lot of gore in this show, that was still hard to sit through. Just hearing what was happening. But another good episode. These are... Tension's building. And I'm sure things are going to get worse for the BAU within the confines of the FBI, since the deputy director wants to get rid of them and will pull any dirty trick he can think of from a political standpoint. And and this killer, he's a piece of work. Curious to see who the guy he bumped up is going to do, or what his thing is next week. But till then, please hit like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.